In this lecture, we're going to talk about mastering value. Okay, now value is the main way that we determine the form of something, right? So light, when it hits an object, depending on what direction it hits the object from, will determine how much light is going to bounce off of that and hit into our eyes, okay? The more of it that bounces off into our eyes, the brighter it's going to seem, and the less of it, the darker it's going to seem. And this effect is what allows us to see the three-dimensional shape of an object, okay? So we have here this image of some rocks, some stones on the shore, okay? And you can see I've traced over this section over here and outlined each of these shapes and assigned a number to them, okay? And you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna use your own image though, pick whatever image you want, but make sure it's something that is clear enough that you can pick out the forms for it, okay? And just to show you what I mean, we'll start over here on this side as well. I'll show you a little bit more of it. Let's make sure we're on the right layer. And bring our brush size way down. So for example, these rocks over here on the left, this whole surface here makes up about one flat surface, okay? Same with this one here. We can do the same thing, okay? This little piece here. And I'm picking all the ones that are sort of facing up towards the light source. And you can see on the right where I've already done this, that each of these I've gone ahead and labeled with the number 3. Okay, so all these little spots here you can see, right? You could go ahead and go through and do all of that. Okay, you're gonna do the whole entire image like this. Okay, 2, and you can use whatever numbers you want, but 2 I have as a side that's facing to the right, so this would be a 2. Okay, in fact most of this rock face right here will be a 2, and then 1s are facing to the left, right? So like these shapes are 2s, this is a 2, in here is a 2, okay? And then we can number these really quick. All right, this is gonna be more of a 1, okay? And you're gonna go through and do that to the whole thing, okay? Once you've done that, you can go in and start painting each section, kind of like a paint by number. And you're only gonna use 3 values for this, okay? So 1 is gonna be a value, 2 is gonna be a separate value, and 3 is gonna be another value. And you're trying to match the lighting in this image using only 3 values. And by the time you're done, so you can see here I've done some more. If we turn off our line art layer, you should be able to tell the form of the object without any lines and still be able to tell kind of the general shape. So you can see here, we can still tell this is a rock with stone and see how it's shaped, okay? So that's the objective. Pick an image. I think rocks work pretty well, especially ones like this that have a little bit more of a square edge to them. Make it a little bit more clear to define. You could do like a complex building or like an image of a village or a town, city, something like that, because that has a lot of block shapes. But you're gonna go through and do the whole thing like this, so that when you're done, you have an entire image that's just these 3 values that has allowed you to define the form. Now, the point of this is that when you're painting an image, you want to be thinking about it in terms of value, right? If you're painting a face, you want to be looking at that and thinking, okay, where's the brightest value, where's all my mid-tone values, and where are all my darkest values? If you can start by blocking that in, then it's going to be a lot easier to sort of blend those together and adding your other values as you go, okay? Breaking it down to its simplest forms is going to help it look more realistic and more believable as you go on and add more detail. If you just jump right in and start trying to paint everything as detailed and rendered as possible without stopping to break down the forms and the values, you're gonna have a difficult time getting accurate value comparisons. So that's it for this lecture. Go ahead and do that assignment, post it in the Q&A, post it in the Facebook group, and I'll see you guys in the next one.